You're sitting in your doctor's office, the numbers are back. Your cholesterol is high again. Your doctor reaches for the prescription pad. Another statin? Higher dose this time. You nod. You take the paper, you fill the prescription. But here's what nobody is telling you. What if I told you that cholesterol isn't the villain you've been led to believe? What if the real threat to your heart after 60 has almost nothing to do with the cholesterol number on your lab report? What if I told you that the biggest danger is happening silently inside your blood vessels right now? And it has a name that most doctors barely mention. It's called inflammation. We've been told for decades that high cholesterol clogs our arteries like grease in a pipe. Lower the cholesterol, save the heart. That's the story. But here's the truth. Half of all heart attacks happen in people with completely normal cholesterol levels. Let me say that again. Half of all heart attacks occur in people whose cholesterol numbers look perfectly fine. So what's really going on? Your arteries aren't clogging because of cholesterol floating peacefully in your blood. They're being damaged by chronic inflammation that causes tears and injuries in the delicate lining of your blood vessels. Your body tries to repair these injuries by sending cholesterol to patch the damage like a bandage. Cholesterol isn't the criminal, it's the first responder. Blaming cholesterol for heart disease is like blaming firefighters for causing fires just because you see them at every burning building. And here's where it gets serious. This inflammation doesn't just threaten your heart, it steals your energy, it accelerates aging throughout your entire body. It increases your risk of stroke, dementia, and even certain cancers. Every single day that inflammation goes unchecked, it's quietly damaging tissues, weakening your immune system, and shortening your health span. But today I'm going to show you 3 simple fish swaps that target inflammation at its source. These aren't exotic species you need to special order. These aren't expensive supplements. These are common fish you can find at any grocery store that contain the most powerful, natural anti-inflammatory compounds known to science. Compounds so effective that major research institutions have compared them to prescription medications. I'm going to tell you exactly which fish to eat, how much you need, and how often. I'm going to explain why one popular fish that everyone thinks is healthy is actually making inflammation worse. And I'm going to share a 2021 study from Harvard Medical School that will completely change how you think about protecting your heart. Are you ready to stop blaming cholesterol and start addressing the real problem? Let's fix this together. Before we get to the 3 fish swaps, you need to understand what's actually happening inside your arteries. Because once you see the real mechanism, everything I'm about to tell you will make perfect sense. In the medical world, we call this process chronic low-grade inflammation, but let's keep it simple. Think of your blood vessels like a garden hose. The inside surface should be smooth, slick, and healthy. But as we age, especially past 60, several things start to damage that inner lining. Stress hormones, blood sugar spikes, oxidized fats from fried foods, environmental toxins, even lack of sleep. Each of these insults creates tiny injuries in the vessel wall. Your immune system rushes to repair the damage, sending inflammatory compounds to the site. In the short term, inflammation is helpful. It's part of healing. But when those injuries keep happening day after day, year after year, the inflammation never shuts off. It becomes chronic. Now, here's the critical part. Those inflamed, damaged spots in your arteries become sticky, like a crack in asphalt that collects dirt and debris. When cholesterol particles pass by, they get trapped in these sticky, inflamed areas. They oxidize, they trigger more inflammation. White blood cells rush in to clean up the mess, but they get overwhelmed and die, forming what we call plaque. This is how arteries actually narrow. Not from cholesterol passively depositing like sediment in a pipe, but from an active inflammatory process that traps cholesterol at injury sites. A 2019 study led by Dr. Joanne Manson at Harvard Medical School followed over 25,000 adults for more than 5 years. The research team divided participants into 2 groups. One group received a daily omega-3 fish oil supplement containing EPA and DHA, the active compounds found in fatty fish. The control group received a placebo. The results were remarkable. The omega-3 group experienced a 28% reduction in heart attack risk compared to the placebo group. Even more striking, participants with the highest inflammation markers at the start of the study showed a 40% reduction in cardiovascular events. Why such dramatic results? Because omega-3 fatty acids are nature's most powerful inflammation fighters. They work at the cellular level, actually changing how your cells produce inflammatory compounds. When you consume enough omega 3s, your cells start making less of the inflammatory molecules that damage your arteries and more of the anti inflammatory molecules that protect and heal them. Your body can't make omega 3s on its own. You have to get them from food, and the absolute best source is certain types of fish. But here's the problem: not all fish are created equal. Some fish are loaded with omega 3s, others contain almost none. Some fish are contaminated with mercury and pollutants that actually increase inflammation. And one fish that everyone thinks is heart healthy is actually one of the worst choices you can make. Let me show you the 3 fish swaps that will flood your body with inflammation-fighting omega 3s and protect your heart for years to come. This is the foundation. If you're currently eating tilapia, thinking you're making a heart-healthy choice, I need to tell you something important. You're not. Tilapia has become one of the most popular fish in America because it's cheap, mild-tasting, and widely available. But here's what most people don't know. Tilapia contains almost no omega-3 fatty acids. In a typical 4-ounce serving of tilapia, you get maybe 150 milligrams of omega-3s. That's practically nothing. For comparison, the American Heart Association recommends at least 500 milligrams of omega-3s per day, and many cardiologists suggest even more for people over 60. But it gets worse. Tilapia is high in omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6s aren't evil. Your body needs some. But the modern Western diet is already flooded with omega-6s from vegetable oils, processed foods, and grain-fed meat. When your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio gets too high, it actually promotes inflammation rather than reducing it. Eating tilapia pushes that ratio in the wrong direction. Wild-caught salmon, on the other hand, is an omega-3 powerhouse. A 4-ounce serving of wild salmon delivers 1,500 to 2,500 milligrams of omega-3s. That's 10 to 15 times more than tilapia. And we're talking about the specific types of omega-3s your heart needs: EPA and DHA. These are the long-chain omega-3s that have been proven in clinical trials to reduce inflammation, lower triglycerides, stabilize heart rhythm, and prevent blood clots. Here's exactly what to do. Go to your grocery store and buy wild-caught salmon. Look for Alaskan sockeye, coho, or king salmon. These varieties have the highest omega-3 content and the lowest mercury levels. Aim to eat salmon twice a week, with each serving being about the size of your palm, or roughly 4 to 6 ounces. You don't need fancy recipes. Keep it simple. Season with lemon, garlic, and black pepper. Bake at 400 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes. Or pan-sear in a little olive oil for 4 to 5 minutes per side. The fish should flake easily with a fork when it's done. Here's a pro tip. If wild salmon feels too expensive, canned wild salmon is just as good nutritionally and costs a fraction of the price. You can make salmon salad, add it to scrambled eggs, or mix it with Greek yogurt and herbs for a quick, protein-rich meal. The omega-3s in canned salmon are completely intact. Fish swap number 2. Out with farmed catfish, in with sardines. I know what you're thinking. Sardines? Those tiny fish in a can? Yes, exactly those. And they might just be the most underrated superfood for your heart. Farmed catfish is another popular choice because it's affordable and has a mild flavor. But like tilapia, farmed catfish is extremely low in omega-3s. Most farmed catfish is raised on grain-based feed, which means it develops the same unfavorable fatty acid profile as grain-fed livestock. You're getting almost no anti-inflammatory benefit. Sardines are the complete opposite. These small, oily fish are omega-3 champions. A single can of sardines, about 3.75 ounces, contains roughly 1,500 milligrams of omega-3s. That's triple your daily minimum in one convenient package. And because sardines are so small and low on the food chain, they accumulate almost no mercury or pollutants. Larger fish like tuna and swordfish can contain dangerous levels of mercury, then because they live longer and eat smaller contaminated fish. Sardines don't have that problem. But sardines offer something else that's crucial for heart health, especially after 60. They're one of the best dietary sources of coenzyme Q10, also called CoQ10. This is a compound your heart muscle cells use to produce energy. As you age, your natural CoQ10 levels decline. And here's the kicker. If you're taking a statin medication, statins actually deplete CoQ10 even further, which is one reason many people on statins experience muscle pain and fatigue. Eating sardines helps replenish CoQ10 naturally. Sardines are also loaded with calcium because you eat the soft, edible bones. This matters for your arteries. Calcium in your diet helps prevent calcium from depositing in your artery walls, which is part of the hardening process we call atherosclerosis. It sounds backward, doesn't it? But the research shows that dietary calcium actually protects against arterial calcification. Here's how to make the swap. Buy sardines packed in olive oil or water, not soybean oil. The olive oil adds healthy fats and makes them taste better. You can eat them straight from the can with whole grain crackers. You can mash them onto toast with avocado and tomato. You can chop them into a salad or pasta dish. If you're new to sardines, start with sardines in mustard sauce or tomato sauce. The added flavoring makes them more approachable. Aim for at least 1 can of sardines per week. As you get used to the taste, you can increase to 2 or 3 cans weekly. Your heart will thank you. And here's the truth. I know sardines aren't glamorous, they won't win awards for presentation. But they're nutritionally superior to almost any other fish you can buy, and they cost about $2 per can. That's affordable heart protection. I'm going to show you the third and final fish swap in just a moment. It's a surprising one. Most people have never even tried this fish, but it has properties that make it uniquely protective for your cardiovascular system. But first, I have a small favor to ask. If you're watching this video because you're tired of relying on medications to manage your health, if you're looking for natural food-based solutions that actually work, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Why? Not for my ego, but because there are millions of people over 60 who have been told their only option is more pills and higher doses. When you engage with this video, YouTube shows it to them. You might help someone avoid an unnecessary prescription or even save them from a heart attack. So please take 2 seconds and hit those buttons. And while you're at it, drop a comment below and tell me which of these 3 fish swaps you're going to try first. Salmon, sardines, or the one coming next. Let's build a community of people who are taking control of their heart health naturally. Done? Thank you. Now let's continue with the final and most powerful fish swap. This is the fish swap that brings everything together. Mahi-mahi is lean, white, and popular in restaurants. It's often grilled or blackened and served as a heart-healthy option. But nutritionally, it's underwhelming. A 4-ounce serving of mahi-mahi contains only about 200 milligrams of omega-3s. You're barely moving the needle. Mackerel is a completely different animal. Atlantic mackerel, also called Boston mackerel, is one of the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids you can find. A 4-ounce serving delivers over 2,500 milligrams of omega-3s. That's more than salmon, more than sardines. It's an omega-3 bomb in fish form. But mackerel has another advantage that makes it special for cardiovascular health. It's extremely high in vitamin D. And vitamin D plays a crucial but often overlooked role in heart protection. A 2020 study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology examined vitamin D levels in over 10,000 adults. The researchers found that participants with vitamin D deficiency had a 64% higher risk of developing heart disease compared to those with adequate vitamin D levels. Why does vitamin D matter so much? Because vitamin D regulates your immune system, and remember, heart disease is fundamentally an inflammatory disease driven by immune dysfunction. When your vitamin D levels are optimal, your immune cells produce fewer inflammatory compounds and more anti-inflammatory ones. Vitamin D also helps regulate blood pressure by affecting the renin-angiotensin system in your kidneys. It helps prevent arterial stiffness by influencing calcium metabolism in blood vessel walls. Most people over 60 are vitamin D deficient. We spend less time outdoors, our skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D from sunlight, and very few foods contain meaningful amounts. Mackerel is one of the rare exceptions. One serving gives you roughly 90% of your daily vitamin D needs. Here's how to add mackerel to your diet. Look for fresh Atlantic mackerel or canned mackerel in the seafood section. Spanish mackerel and king mackerel can contain higher mercury levels, so stick with Atlantic mackerel. It's small, sustainable, and clean. You can prepare mackerel the same way you'd cook salmon. Grill it, bake it, or pan-fry it with simple seasonings. Mackerel has a stronger, richer flavor than mild white fish, so pair it with bold flavors. Lemon and dill work beautifully. So does a soy ginger glaze or a Mediterranean herb rub with oregano and thyme. If you're buying canned mackerel, treat it like canned salmon or tuna. Make mackerel salad with chopped celery, red onion, and a little mayonnaise or Greek yogurt. Serve it on whole grain bread or over mixed greens. The omega-3s and vitamin D remain completely intact in the canned version. Aim for mackerel once or twice per week. Between the salmon, sardines, and mackerel, you'll be consuming 4,000 to 6,000 milligrams of omega-3s every week. That's in the range that research shows provides maximum cardiovascular protection. You'll be flooding your system with anti-inflammatory compounds, supporting healthy blood pressure, improving cholesterol particle size, reducing triglycerides, and giving your heart muscle the CoQ10 and vitamin D it needs to function optimally. This isn't just about avoiding statins. This is about addressing the root cause of cardiovascular disease through the most powerful nutritional intervention we have. So let's recap your new heart-healthy fish strategy. You're swapping out tilapia for wild-caught salmon to get 10 to 15 times more omega-3s per serving. You're replacing farmed catfish with sardines to maximize omega-3s while adding CoQ10 and bone-building calcium. And you're trading mahi-mahi for Atlantic mackerel to get the highest omega-3 content possible, plus critical vitamin D. These three simple swaps transform your diet from inflammation-promoting to inflammation-crushing. You're not eliminating anything you love. You're not spending hours in the kitchen. You're just making smarter choices about which fish go on your plate. Listen, I know getting older comes with challenges. I know you've probably been told that high cholesterol is genetic, that medication is inevitable, that your heart health is out of your control. But your body is amazing. It can heal. It can adapt. Even over 60, even if you've had inflammation for years, your arteries can become healthier when you give them the right tools. Imagine 6 months from now, your inflammation markers are down, your energy is better. Your doctor is surprised by your improved blood work. You're not on a new medication. You're not following some extreme diet. You're simply eating salmon twice a week, enjoying sardines a couple of times, and trying mackerel once or twice. That's it. That's the power of targeting inflammation at its source with real, whole foods. This is possible for you. This can be your reality, but you have to take action. Don't just watch this video and forget about it. Go to the grocery store this week and buy one of these 3 fish. Pick the one that sounds most appealing to you. Start there, try it, see how you feel. Then add the second fish the following week. Build these swaps into your routine gradually. And if you found this information helpful, if you're ready to stop blaming cholesterol and start addressing inflammation, please remember to subscribe and share this video with someone you care about who's struggling with heart health. Let's help everyone understand what's really happening in their arteries. Together, we can shift the conversation from pills and prescriptions to food and real healing. Thousands of people have transformed their cardiovascular health using these exact strategies. The next video I want you to watch breaks down the 5 worst inflammatory foods that are probably in your kitchen right now, silently damaging your heart, even if you think you're eating healthy. You don't want to miss it. Click to keep watching.